I'm pointing at the screen.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Another edition of Holy Try Football Podcast. Bowl season preview part 2, highlighted with the CFP quarterfinals. It's me, AY, coming to you from the People's State Capital, the red state, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. To my west en route somewhere. D-Berg, what's up?
Yeah.
Out somewhere.
Busy time of year for some, both on and off the field.
True.
To my east, which I kind of figured he'd be to my west, but he's to my east. Cam.
Well, yeah. Saving up so I can be further south of you as well, and don't want to be too far west. Otherwise, you'll be upset that you're that far west if there's bad results as well.
Would make for one of the longer possible flights home.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, let's. I guess we need to bury the lead. Let's not put the cart from the horse or anything, but we could have. We are staring down the possibility of double boots.
You're thinking double boots, right?
I'm not getting ahead of myself, but let's just say, hypothetically speaking,
If there is the opportunity for double boots, you would be.
AY, at least one of the three of us is a responsible sports fan. That's all I will say.
if the opportunity arises, there's greater than 50% chance I will have boots. Yes.
Yes.
Well, there's a long way to go, for one of us at least.
Yes. We're not in miles traveled, right?
Not in miles traveled, but in competition.
Yes, that's true. Definitely a stiffer test for some.
But we will get to that. I know we did tip our hand last week on our playoff brackets. Some foresee it, some do not. But you must play the games on the field. And look, it was 10 days ago, so we can just talk through this quickly because we'll get to some of these things in the preview. We can allude to that. But the first game was Friday night, Notre Dame, Indiana. Great scene. We waited. I checked tickets. I talked to Roth and Dan. I think 1 a.m. Thursday night going into Friday. So Friday morning, 1 a.m. I made the final call. They were still at like 5:20.
Oh.
And I was ready. I was ready to wake up in like 6 hours and just go. But did not get the chance. So we did not make the trek. It looked beautiful. It looked awesome. It looked just.
It did.
It looks great. All accounts. Neutral observers were very impressed, and I think it was just the pageantry the first time and all that. But it was a great sight for it. Great atmosphere. The game started off kind of fun, nervy tip pick, then a Watts pick on a rush pass, and then Love. Look, it was a workmanlike game. Notre Dame, the final score was misleading. They dominated. They didn't look great, but Indiana couldn't get much going. So,
friend of the pod, Roost was gross. First drive, Indiana stones them. Roost gets right in there, bets it live -6. He's like, Notre Dame all the way. Who dey? Who dey? Who dey? And then immediately after they throw the pick, he goes, ah! That was good. And then he was happy the rest of the way, obviously.
Yeah, good result. Look, I say after all these games, you just want to get through without injuries, and we'll get to that in the preview.
They did not.
But during
Can we just put a bookend to that? He definitely just forgot to put the bet in on time, correct? There's no way Rooster.
No, I don't know if he forgot or if he was on the fence, but I think
you would not wait for Indiana to punt in that situation.
Yeah. No, I think he. And it wouldn't have been -6 at that point. Indiana had just punted. I think it went to like 7.5. I think he got a worse number.
Probably.
And, and he I think that gave him the confidence to put him over the edge.
Indiana did not do much to the final 3 minutes.
I need to start taking his action then.
Al Golden did say those two touchdowns late, he said, just play off and tackle. I don't want to do anything. Don't want to get anybody else hurt. And we found out after the game, half the team was sick. So Jeremiah
After staying up and studying for all those finals.
Yeah, 'cause, the flu was going around. You heard Jeremiah Love in the post-game presser. He couldn't even talk. He's like, yeah, and Leonard Moore, all the guys were sick. So just they got through it with one rather large injury, but we'll get to that. So good result there. On to Saturday, the early kick. Penn State took down SMU with early drama, perhaps, and then South Park, Team America-esque puking by Kevin James for an hour straight.
Yes, it was pretty bad. The defense picking the offense up after the Big Ten championship game. Last time they were out, it was the other way around. The defense getting knocked in the face pretty early and falling behind. And throughout the game, I think they stiffened up a little bit in the second half, but the offense really picked up the team that time around. And this time, I think maybe a little bit of the layoff, definitely the weather. I think the weather, it impacted SMU, but I think it impacted Penn State's offense just as much. And they're lucky that they were able to capitalize there, get those two defensive scores, and then another turnover deep in the red zone after the 4th-and-1 sneak that allowed Penn State.
That was quite the call.
I know it was interesting. It was interesting, and it was. I think you're seeing. I don't know if Franklin's trying to prove a point here or like show people up, but after that Minnesota call and now this, and they're kind of just throwing hazard to the wind and saying, well, if we go down, we'll go down swinging with the blowtorch. And
he's got a flamethrower.
I know.
The point being, though, it's against SMU in Minnesota, which proves nothing.
Exactly. We'll see if he'll do that against. And that's the funny thing, right? Because he has in the past against these teams that he is quote unquote better than can out talent. He has been more conservative, and he has been one to take more risks against the Ohio States, against the Michigans of the world. It's interesting that he's doing this now against these. Objectively, I guess some would say lesser teams, but I wonder if he's going to take the same approach here in the higher stakes games. I'll be interested to see. So Penn State was lucky that they were able to do that because they were able to lean on the running game in the second half. You saw the SMU defense did come out to play. They did really well, actually. They were able to control the Penn State running game for a large part of that first half, but by the second half, they wanted no part of tackling Katron Allen and Nick Singleton. You're really seeing this offense looking better, and at least the two running backs. I don't want to say the offense looked better because they did not look better in the game, but the two running backs really becoming a factor here, and they're lucky that the injuries, I guess, happened earlier on in the season, and they've had the ability to heal here. And now at the tail end of the season, there's not as much tread on the tires. They're going up against there is not an absence of tread on the tires. Sorry, and they're going up against a guy that there may not be very much tread on the tires left, but he has not showed any signs of slowing down. But they're lucky, I think, because the two running backs are peaking at the right time, which I'm excited about. I am really interested to see, and I know it's been brought up a lot. I don't think necessarily you would always like a bye, right? But I think that you saw some of the rust in a lot of these teams outside of Ohio State coming out and with the layoff. I'm wondering if the teams that did play in the first round will be at a little bit of an advantage, right? They have to get through some of the nicks and tears, some a little bigger than others. I know AY will get into in a little bit, but you're in a more routine, you're more, I guess, battle tested, and you don't have to shake off some of the rust. These guys that have had the buys haven't played in a month, basically, and so I think that'll be something to keep an eye out for. Here in the next couple of days. I'm excited to see, and I do think it'll be a factor. On the note of Penn State and the weather impacting their offense, I do and am excited and do expect their offense to get back to more of that Oregon form that you saw now that they're in more controlled and nicer environments, faster tracks. All in all, though, I do think SMU. I think the environment did get to them. You saw obviously Jennings getting really rattled, but and I think it did come through on the television feed. But it was loud in there, and the stadium and the crowd was very into it. It was a great game to be part of, and it was a good time. It was a good time.
I heard the same thing about when he had those turnovers against Duke.
Oh yeah. But they did not. Duke could not capitalize. Penn State's offense did just enough to do so. Luckily. The other two, Texas, that game, they jumped out on them. Clemson did. It thought they could have a chance there, and then Texas really quickly slammed the door on them, or so it seemed, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they jump out to like a 3-touchdown lead? 28-7, was it? I forget.
Yeah, that was the most competitive game.
Yeah, which is kind of sad. But Clemson came back. I saw some good fight from Klubnik, and he just announced that he's coming back for 2025. I don't think there was very much threat of him going to the NFL, but yeah, I think he had one of the better games of his career and season, definitely.
It's too bad. I'm sure the Gents were eyeing him up.
That would have been a good move. My Gents. The running game I thought was impressive. We haven't really known what to think of their running game. I think it's been missing a lot of pieces. Obviously, they had those running backs get hurt in the preseason, and then they haven't really been impressive. I think this is good, especially as we've seen Ewers kind of tail off at the end of the season. That you got Wisner, who did a lot of damage, and then James Blue with the electric run down at the end of the game to really shut the door on them. I'm interested to see, but I don't know. I don't want to say it's a hollow win. I think it's a nice win. It's a good win, but I'm still not sold on Texas and how good I don't think they've been really playing at their ceiling for much of the season, especially the back half.
No, they're up 31-20.
Right.
Early third. It was 28-10, 31. Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry, not 31-20. It was 28-10 and 31-10.
So they had a pick six that got called back, I remember. Clemson did. It was late in that half.
Texas, yeah, kind of. Yeah, I still don't know. I mean, I know last week on here, I think I picked them to win the whole thing. I think this was kind of like what they do. I didn't think they'd struggle this much defensively, but Klubnik was nice. I just think that their base, their floor is pretty high. I know we'll get to the highest ceiling is probably the Rose Bowl teams, but Ohio State showed that last week. But Texas' floor is pretty high, so that could be enough and easier route. But that's looking down the line. As far as that game, yeah, it was the most competitive. It felt that way. Definitely, obviously, 7-point game for a second there until Blue busted out that touchdown run. All right, under the nightcap. Ohio State just blitzed Tennessee from the jump.
Yep.
They decided to throw the ball because they have great receivers, and that worked out. I don't know. Maybe you could say the cold got to Tennessee too.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't me backing Tennessee. There was just the fact that Ohio State had that dark cloud around them, and they shot right through that.
Yep.
They finally we waited all year for them to engage in their warpath mode, and they took it out all in that one game.
Yeah.
We'll see if they.
I think that we could see this coming. I think we talked about it on the podcast, right? That
it's always been there. We're just waiting for it.
Exactly, and they do this. We said, I think you remember after Michigan State in 2015, and they go out there and shellacked Notre Dame in the Fiesta Bowl. They do this a lot, where they kind of get a wake-up call, and in the past it's been too late, right? luckily for them, not for the rest of the country, they seem to have realized, oh, maybe we just throw it out there to number 4, number 2. We'll be all right. But Will Howard, he was putting them on the money in that game. He looked as good as we've seen him all year.
He did look good. The defense looked good. Imaliava was just getting crushed left and right.
Left and right.
They could not block up front for him.
Yeah.
And Samson goes down.
Roth was there, or he didn't go?
Roth was there, yeah.
Roth was there. He was part of the 30,000 contingent.
Yeah, he had fun until kickoff.
Yep.
But he had fun for most of the day, at least.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was a good. Do you think this is going to be the norm going forward, or after they fix some of these the seeding issues? Do you think it'll be better as far as first round blowouts?
I think it'll be a little better, but you see people point out this. We've had blowouts in the playoffs for years now.
Yes.
Yeah,
in the Final Four as well as in
very FCS.
NFL.
Yeah, I mean,
very FCS early rounds.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're gonna have blowouts all the time, but I do think that the home teams had a pretty big advantage here, playing a big game. I mean, I know they're playing a tough team, but I mean, you saw how these home teams played.
Yep.
I mean, for the most part, if their offense was sputtered a little bit, the D's were still all the D's were great.
Yep.
Even Texas, I mean, he had 10 points till late in the third quarter. I mean, I think we'll see closer games, but I mean, it's a 4-game sample here. I know you can talk about the other playoff games and blowouts, but this is home field. This is a new thing.
Yeah,
we'll get some good games. Yeah,
I agree.
Back to the Texas game. If Clemson punches that in, it could have got really fuzzy.
Yeah, they had that. Yeah,
they were down 2 scores. Had the ball on the 1. I think it was either first or second and goal from the 1. Couldn't get it in, or they're very close to that. So.
Yeah, and then they
I'm fine with
it. Down conversion, right? And got it to 7.
Yeah,
it was getting good.
Yeah. Unfortunately for Roth, his team did have to be the example that it can happen to any team from any conference.
Mm-hmm.
As far as that well-documented discourse of who was deserving.
Yeah, that was a weird 48 hours there. Of maybe the most prominent talking head on college football, just scorched
I don't know what is going on with him.
Are you talking about Herb Street?
He's been getting sucked into the the whole fringe Ohio State must really be hammering on him.
Yeah, he's
just clouding his brain.
Maybe it's all the work he's been doing, all the NFL and the college football.
That was good. We'll get to the quarterfinals here in a little bit. Portal's closed. Cell is still going. Obviously, Portal we'll get some trickles here as teams lose as teams finish up their season. So we'll just catch up on all that later, maybe for the championship preview, because it's just the Wild West. On 3 still. Just crushing it with their taglines. There's been games. Dan is on fire in bowl picks.
He is on fire.
Mathematically eliminated from 500 contention, I believe. I think I need to go 17-0, something like. But I don't think there's 17 games left. Let's see here.
There might
8, 12, 14, 15, I believe. Yeah. Oh, well.
Well, you put on.
I would say better late than never, but it is too late.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a bunch of bowls. There's been a lot of bowls. The Pop-Tart thing is still cooking. That's good to see.
Yeah, they really did nail it with that, I must say.
They're the best. They are the best. They lean in. Do you have any discourse, or do you have anything you will add to the discourse when it comes to Cam Ward sitting out the second half of that game?
I have no issue with it.
Yeah. I think it's hilarious. It was very plain that he just wanted to get in there to break the record, right? And then
and they were talking about him going in for that last drive too, which would have been funny.
Yeah.
With like a minute left or whatever they had to come back.
That would have been hilarious.
Iowa State really, really struggling to get it in there. I think they had multiple chances and flags. They finally did it though.
Yep.
And that's not going to be. Did they get anybody yet? Miami, like that guy that was in there, Emory, whatever.
Oh yeah, I think
they call him Emory Jones. Emory Jones.
EJ Jones. Yeah. I don't think they're trying to get somebody. I don't think they have yet.
Yeah, they'll get somebody, but
yeah, they'll get somebody.
No one yet.
Any other good ones here? My Gers, my Scarlet Knights. I didn't know who to root for there against K-State, but they blew a 17-point lead. That was pretty brutal.
In the watch party, what was it? You didn't give any firsthand accounts.
Oh yeah, they weren't very happy about it. I didn't want to engage too much with them because it would have. I think it might have rubbed people the wrong way or seemed smug in that way. But I retired myself. They had a blackjack table going, so I retired myself over there. So people play blackjack. Have you ever played it at like a party with people you know? It's like you take turn. We go ahead.
No, I've done. Yeah, I've dealt, but not like anything official. There was no actual table.
Oh no! So yeah, it's like the table. You had the people, and then you I think we were playing like 50 cents a chip or $1 a chip or something like that. And
I was just talking about getting a roulette wheel though.
Yeah, but it was fun because everybody's playing against the dealer, and then you could be the dealer, and there's heavy swings being the dealer because you're betting your own money there, and you're dealing. So it's pretty funny. Good times. But any other ones here?
We could talk about the lead into Gers K-State that led over into almost halftime.
Oh yes. Do you want it? Yes. We've all discussed our bowl games.
I was waiting. I was hoping you guys would forget, but you kept sticking on the topic, and I was like, all right, I guess I'll just chime in here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. As if there needed to be a final nail in the coffin. For any faith to have in that buffoon, the biggest overpaid idiot. Maybe I would say he might have the title. He may be the biggest overpaid idiot in all of college football, the Pitt football coach. I need to stick back to that. That was incredible. I mean, obviously, they have guys were out and not playing and all that stuff. But as was documented in the very brief preview I gave, Toledo lost to Okra in the last game, so there's really no excuse. Looked like they were going to pull it out. I guess the one positive would be Julian Duggar going out there with True Frosh and doing things. Why in heaven's name he did not start the game is beyond me. And I brought it up, I think after the Louisville game. They put this, co-creator of Twin Peaks or creator of Twin Peaks, David Lynch, in as a walk-on. And I'm like, why are they doing it? Like, they have other scholarship quarterbacks. What are they doing? Well, I think the one transferred. So maybe they already mentioned about transferring.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't want to bother with putting him out there, doing him a solid to give him a couple series. But then when it was just, I guess, the cheese ball move to have the walk-on come in and think you can win the bowl game, which who knows if they would have even made it to overtime if he had stayed in the game. But yeah, the rest is just and really, I was glad at least some people got both coaches. It was ridiculous that 15 Candles or 16 Candles didn't go for the 2 in the first overtime.
Yeah.
He kicked the extra point to tie it, and then whew. You don't think it's the bowl wackiness is great, as I've staunchly defended. It is not fun whatsoever when your team is involved in it, especially against a MAC school. So I will say that, but yeah, it was ridiculous, and I don't know how I mean, obviously, he has 3 years left on his contract or whatever. That's how, and you don't want to pay 2 coaches, but
And you think an athletic director
Just-
coming in is going to want to make waves, or you just want to let him ride it out? And
well,
then
I think it's more just financially based. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know what more you would need to see. I mean, maybe give him 1 more year because it's an awkward time to potentially move on from somebody. But I don't know how they don't start making the calls now and be like, "You guys are ready. You've had enough of this, right?" And I said, I think literally anything could be better. Like I would go 0-12. At least you know that person sucks.
yeah.
And I said it's just they're been winning the ACC not that long. It'll buy anyone some time, but it's just
Yeah.
there's no point. Much like there's no point. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to get into the Steelers, but there's no point to keep doing this
Mhm.
from a fan standpoint.
Right.
So unless they're like, oh well, if we get really bad and then we get left out, which I'd be fine rolling the dice with that.
Right.
So, yep.
Hey, well, I'm looking at this grading. We've got green across the board here in Ohio Jackson State.
Oh yeah.
Do we both get partial credit because Ohio was up like 2 touchdowns in that game, or no?
Yeah. Well, looks like you guys get an extra W.
I don't think we do, but I'll update that. All right. Any other ones we want to touch on here? Dion, the last gasp for Shador and Travis. Yeah.
The one true Big 12 championship game. I was delighted by that outcome.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
was amazing. That day of college football had everything, right? Snoop Dogg Bowl and
Oh yeah. It was,
bowl games at
Vernelli.
yeah. 2 bowl games and baseball stadiums.
Yeah, how about Khan? Shout out to Khan.
Oh yeah, good work by them taking care. Because
Mora,
they didn't have Bill in town.
Maybe Mora gets one last bite at the apple with
We just got an extension.
Well, that's just so
Yeah,
whoever they're
right.
going to hire, has to pay more. But I wonder if like the Bow would roll the dice with the Mora. I don't know.
Val's got number 1. I don't know if he's the number 1 overall prospect, but he's 5-star defensive end committed to them right now for next cycle.
Did they keep in Loxley?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. All right. Any news and notes, AY, before we dive in here?
yeah, we could do 2 hours on it, but nothing. I didn't dig deep into unusual mascots or something like that. No, we'll just keep it moving. Maybe next week when we have a little lighter slate, I'll dig up some of the last month.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Let's head to formerly known as the Outback Bowl. Now we had
no fried onion or no
from what I understand, issues with the either marketing director or CEO of Outback that resulted in the dissolution of the partnership. Long-standing partnership, one of the longest-running ball sponsorships we've had, right? An institution, the Outback Bowl. I was at the last one ever. But Michigan coming in 14-point underdogs to Alabama. Alabama, I'm sure will have some guys opting out, but their main guys, I think, will be there, right? Ryan Williams, it's a freshman. I think Milroe
did not look that far into it.
Milroe is not leaving. I have not seen anything of that, so I assume he'll be back as well. And so I think Michigan's sitting a little fat and sassy. They've got Bryce Underwood down there throwing passes. Obviously, he's not eligible to play for this game, but he's in there practicing already. They're riding high after the win. Alabama pissed off they're not in there. I think they'll come out and blow the doors off here. I've got a bet in for minus 13.5, and I will take them to win by 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, I have Alabama too.
That's a lot of points.
It is.
But yeah, Michigan can't do. They couldn't do anything.
Oklahoma's offense couldn't do anything either before they played against. Or I mean, they scored 23 points against Alabama, but or 24.
I'm gonna do. I'll take Michigan. I hate it, but screw it.
Screw it.
Bowl season, weird stuff. Tony the Tiger, Sun Bowl, Louisville, Washington.
Louisville.
Hey, why are you getting the shirt?
If Shug is the MVP, then you're good.
Okay. Very
Well, this
good.
is an autoplay
Very
here
good.
for Dan, right? Dan's gotta fade him here, right?
Of course, I'm going Fish.
One
What
last
are you,
time.
kidding? What are you
One
talking
last
about here? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
He
this
sucks.
it's obvious who Dan and I are taking here.
Yeah.
It's up to
I
Tim.
will. Well, anyway, you don't.
He is playing. Do you have the tracker up, AY? He is playing.
I don't have it up because it was screwing me, but I will pull it up.
That would be the final nail for me. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
you're gonna opt out. You're gonna be a 6th-round pick.
Well, AY's definitely going with them for the strength of schedule, right? And show.
Yeah.
And I will be riding with AY there as well. I was not very impressed with Washington this year.
All right, here we go. Oh, he is opted out.
Oh,
What a tool.
what a tool!
And Ja'Cory Brooks and Ashton Gelati.
All right,
Oh,
what? They still have that freshman running back. What's his name again?
I
He
don't
tore
know.
you guys up. He tore Clemson up. How you guys?
Oh,
Or did he tear you guys up?
I don't know. That game was weird.
what the Notre Dame?
Yeah.
No, that was a Tyler Shuck game.
Oh.
They didn't really run it that well.
All those opt-outs, I'll go Washington. Fish. Fish is building some culture there.
Yeah, I'm going Washington too.
All right.
Yeah,
Look
I
at
mean,
that.
I mean, not only back to Louisville with Shuck and Brooks and
They're both out.
Ashton Gelati's out on defense. What are they going to? Yeah, Washington.
Everybody's buying in on Beamer and Lenore Sellers. 10 points is way too much. Burt gets it done here. Not on the field, but it'll be close.
Yeah, I have Bird as well. I think this will be a true, where we're going with these.
Yeah.
I'll be surprised if AY doesn't back the Cox.
Yeah, they don't have Kennard or Rocket Sanders, but Pat Bryant's out for Illinois. But this is just one of those weird games that Illinois will probably cover, but I have to keep my flag planted on Scar. I have to.
Playoff snub star.
BK making a ton of noise in the portal. Nussmeier back also. Why are they getting points here?
That
Baylor's awesome.
That line's been shooting up.
Sawyer. I'm going Baylor.
Who's LSU have playing in this game besides Nussmeier? Nussmeier's going
Both tackles out and tight end and Kyron Lacey out.
Baylor. I think Arander's won like 7 of 8 or something like that.
Yeah, he went off after the Hail Mary he gave up against Dion. They're dead.
I know we're getting the absolute worst of the number here. It was probably 8 points better a month ago, but
yeah,
Arander 6 in a row they've won.
I'm going Baylor here.
Well, I got to make up some ground on you guys, so I'll go LSU.
You're ahead of me, Ken.
Barely, not in the bowl season.
Oh, in the bowl challenge.
In the bowl challenge.
We might have to recount after AY gave us credit for Ohio.
I have corrected that now. Lane going to back it up after all the bitching and moaning he's been doing?
I'll say yes.
Who's playing in this for him? Is everybody playing?
I would assume if it's still 17 that's a pretty full deck.
There's some potential opt-outs, Wells and Harris. I mean,
But that's
Harris
only,
has Harris played the whole second half of the season?
it's only a few days away, right? So
he's hardly played. I mean, they beat Georgia without him.
I'll go Mississippi. Lane. Hey, who you gonna take it?
I'll go Duke. He's been doing too much yapping.
Yeah, he has been yapping a ton. Texas State, North Texas. The one true battle for Texas here. How's not in the Texas Bowl?
I don't know, but North Texas has a lot of guys in the portal already committed.
Yeah, I got the B-Cats. Texas State.
I agree.
How many points we get in here?
13.5 if you're a mean greener.
Don't have a quarterback, but Texas State pissed me off losing to, was it Louisiana Tech or Old Dominion? One of those two. So I'll go North Texas.
I'll say there have been some dreadful like replacement performances. We didn't talk about it, but that UNLV when Cal took out and put the true frosh in, that was abysmal. I sent you guys the highlight of that backwards.
Oh, that was incredible.
That's the thing. That there's obviously not that many bowl games left, but it's like it really could be that bad if there are guys out.
All right, who'd you take? You took Mean Green?
Yeah.
AY believes.
All right. The Dukes Mayo. Wow, what a come up, glow up for this bowl game. They're now in the second to last regular bowl game. January 3rd. Now Minnesota against Virginia Tech. Interesting game here. I've liked Minnesota all year. I thought they're pretty good. And SOS. Yeah, I'll go row the boat. Fleck.
I will go Fleck as well. Yes.
Yeah, it says Virginia Tech could be down 14 starters.
Ooh.
So yeah, give me Fleck.
All right. And the Bahamas Bowl. This used to be like the first bowl game. The Popeyes Bahamas Bowl used to be like the first bowl game. Now it's the last?
I guess. Must be.
Who's Liberty got playing?
Would they do that? Yeah, did they ever do that on Christmas Eve to lead into the Hawaii Bowl?
I thought it was always like the 22nd. I always remember it being like
might be earlier, yeah.
Birthday.
Could have been a Festivus date. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm going Buffalo here as well.
The MAC is doing okay.
They're reversing the trend after years.
Yeah.
I'm going Buffalo too, yeah.
Yeah, I wrote it in there before.
That's fine.
You have a choice.
Yeah.
Liberty's been extremely disappointing all year.
And did Chadwell end up leaving? I can't remember.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Not yet.
He's just putting his tail feather out there for the last couple of seasons. He had that was the flight tracker last year, right? Where was he going supposedly?
NC
Can't
State.
remember.
No, not NC State. I forget who. All right. Here we go. Tomorrow night, Verbo Fiesta Bowl.
Oh, you missed one.
I did. Oh, my fault. FSC Championship.
FSC.
Oh. FSC, yes.
FSC, the Fox Sports Championship.
Yeah,
Fox Sports Channel Championship.
little typo there. North Dakota State, Montana State.
Monty.
January 6th.
Why do you think it's always these like ice cold teams in the freaking Idahos, North Dakotas, or whatnot in FCS?
I think the guys that play there don't want to go to like a big place. That's my theory. I'd have to do an analysis of the hometowns. That's
like it's South Dakota State, North Dakota.
They get like all the 3-star guys that could probably. I feel like they get all the 2 and 3-star guys that could go to like
Minnesota
or like Vandy. Maybe Vandy's a bad example because of, but like that would normally reserve for that. Like I'm not going to Nashville, Tennessee. Or I'm not even Minnesota. I feel like that would be more homey for them.
But why isn't there some Florida school or like Georgia school?
That's what I mean. Like they don't want to go play at FAU.
Yeah.
And have that, whatever.
Right. Whereas you're saying the players that could be going to those Georgia schools or Florida schools are going to FAU.
Yeah.
Okay. I see.
But I think, like, obviously, they're better than a lot of those teams, so the teams would be better suited to recruit those guys. I just think it's tougher for that. It's a tougher sell for those guys. I mean, how many of them actually go to the NFL? You know, it's like Lupke's ass is in there. Steelers got one of those guys from number 5 Dakota State. But I feel like they just like playing up there better.
Now Montana.
I mean, especially North Dakota State has the dome.
Montana State is not the one in Missoula, is it?
No, they're
That's
Bozeman, I believe.
Yeah. And Montana
What a
State's
year they've
played Boop Davy earlier this year, right?
Boop
And had that
Davy,
crazy-
yeah.
They did a crazy game against Boop Davy on opening day.
They had they got up to like 13-point favorites.
Yeah.
And almost blew it, right? They almost blew it against
They
Boop.
did, yeah. They
Well,
almost
by 4.
lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, Boob with a great showing there.
For that reason, I mean, North Dakota State, they're
For what it's worth, these teams are Montana State is 42nd, North Dakota State 43rd in Sagarin.
wow.
There you go.
One spot ahead of Syracuse.
How about that? I feel like Syracuse was up by 1 million in that game, and then actually
Ahead of
was close.
Washington, Georgia Tech, Wisconsin, aforementioned Vanderbilt.
Pitt.
I'm looking at their schedule.
Pitt, yeah. Pitt's one
I
spot
got
ahead
Monty. I got Monty State in this one.
Yeah, they've been rolling all year.
I'm
Yeah,
going
they've got the guy. They've got the. I think they have the best player in
Isaac.
that game, with that quarterback that supposedly had a bunch of offers.
Oh yeah.
Did not go the way of Sluka Doncic. Which, by the way, where did he end up?
I saw some headline about him, but I think he's been working out with the quarterback coach in my area here in Jersey. A bunch of some of the
Kenny
kids.
Pickett's guy.
Yeah, exactly, that guy. Tony Raz.
Doesn't look like he's signed anywhere yet. Let's see. Not on his Wikipedia. He has a Wikipedia page. Kind of an upset there.
Talk about betting on yourself and losing.
Plans to visit Memphis. That's all I'm seeing. All right.
All right,
Your game.
here we are. Valley of the Sun.
Verbo.
They've talked about this a ton. Boise State 3-0, Penn State 7-0 in the Valley of the Sun. Who remains undefeated? That's the question. I've thought long and hard about this. I think obviously the main headliner is Ashton Genty. As he goes, Boise goes. Maddox Manson's been pretty mediocre to below mediocre for most of the year.
Yeah, he stinks.
It comes down to tackling. I mean, I guess it's a little oversimplifying things here, but it's been harped on. 2/3 of his Genty's yards come after contact. The key here is to not contact him. Then he's only got 800 yards. Jokes aside there. Penn State has had issues tackling this year. It may not show up necessarily in the stats, but, Tony Rojas has had issues. He's been dealing with a shoulder injury for a lot of this year. Kobe King isn't necessarily the fastest guy. And then you got Dom DeLuca and a host of other guys back there that aren't really, the meanest group, the monsters of the Midway. And so I have been worried about Penn State's linebacking core coming in, especially depth-wise and talent-wise. They lost a couple of guys to injury this year and as well as kicked off the team for various issues. So that, going against the number one running back in the country in quite a few years, I think, is an issue. And something that I think that they'll be throwing 8 men in the box. And it's not something that the Boise State team is not used to. They've been seeing that for the better part of this year. And you've seen people throw out, you see what Oregon, they played against a good team in Oregon, and you saw what he did. Oregon's defense is not what Penn State's defense is, right? Penn State's defense is, I think, maybe half a step or a step above Oregon's, and especially in the run defense, they're top 10. And I do think the way that they've been preparing and focusing on here, especially if it wasn't for the hype and like as good of a player that Genty is, I think I would be concerned. But the fact that he has the spotlight and the Penn State defense has been so singularly focused on him, I do think that they will come out, and I don't think they can necessarily contain him, but I think that he'll definitely get his yardage. But I do think that they'll be up to the task of stymieing him enough here where I think that they will have to go to Maddox Madsen a little bit to try to loosen things up, and that'll be where you'll have to see if Penn State can make some hay like they did against Jennings. I do think eventually they'll get some breaks there. I also like what Penn State's defense and the edge can do against some of them. The pass protection, I think they'll make Maddox Madsen feel them as well. They do have a tendency to start slow. I am worried about that. But once they do get their sea legs under them, the defense has played well this year. And I think they'll be up for the challenge. That's not to say that I don't think that they'll like keep him under 100 yards or something like that. I do think that he'll be able to get some yardage. If you keep him in that 100, 130 range, 140 range, that's a really good game. It would be, I think, like the lowest he's had all year, aside from Portland State. And then the key is, how is he getting that yardage? Is he getting it on the 30 carries that he's been doing and accustomed to, or is he getting big chunk yardage? And as long as he's working for it, I think they'll be all right. I mentioned it earlier. I like Penn State against the Boise's defense is decent, but I don't think they've necessarily. Well, they have seen one team, Oregon, that has had the talent, but I think you'll see Penn State's offense really get out of the what they were dealing with against SMU with that weather and really slowing them out. And then I think the way the game flow dictated it, they really didn't need to do very much in that SMU game. I think you'll definitely see them open it up. I'm expecting the receivers to come out, and I think that there'll be much more of a factor this time around. Maybe Omari Evans cracks it deep, cracks some of that defensive shell that they've got over the top, and I like Penn State to get a big play there. Eventually, I think the running game that I've said is healthy will be able to wear them down, and I think we'll get a big run as well from Singleton late in the game. I like Penn State here to eventually stiff arm their way to like a 17-point win. Maybe that last touchdown from Singleton puts them over the edge from 10 to 17, and I think it'll be a good New Year's for Penn State fans here, and they'll be able to sit fat and sassy and enjoy New Year's Day. At least I'm hoping so. If I were in the shoes of a Penn State fan, which I'm not.
Good point.
So I will go 34-17. Penn State.
My main thing is I'm looking forward to see if Steve deploys a Happy New Year Davy AI figure. I thought of that for Dave being happy on New Year's. I am right with Can. I think it's going to be just inside the number come the fourth quarter, and Penn State covers that. So I'm taking Penn State to cover here. You mentioned tackling at the top. Look at the metrics as far as tackling teams go. Boise State is
very bad.
Bottom 5. They can't tackle. And you hear these coaches. A lot of coaches say the biggest issue off a long rest is the tackling. Well, they're already awful at it. So, I mean, I guess they can't get much worse, but they're not going to get any better, it sounds like. The only thing going for Boise here is, like, I dug into this game, the numbers and all that, and it doesn't look good for them. The only thing here is that the X factor, the thing you can't quantify is, like, how big is that chip on their shoulder? They've been hearing for a month now about
they came in with the shirts.
How they don't deserve to buy.
I don't like that. What did the shirts say?
Oh, it was gross. Let me get it so I don't mess up the quote. But it was.
Yeah, you got Reese
about
Davis
Bronco meat
on the selection show saying what an advantageous path for Penn State. Here. Like, I'm not not even halfway out yet, and he's already saying this.
They say, "Please count us out." This is the shirts that they have.
Yeah, see, that's like the you can't quantify that. I mean, obviously,
well, you could not wear those shirts also.
yes, obviously, yeah. Like,
I
do
don't
they
like
want
that.
to win? Yes, they do. Like, how much more of an edge like does that really give you? I think that's all overblown. Like multiple material, I think that's overblown. Like, can you really try that much harder? But like, that's like the one variable that you can't account for. So, will they come out inspired on the site of their greatest win ever, which was an amazing win 17 years ago?
Be 19, I think.
19. Oh, yeah. I hope they play well because I don't want them getting dragged. I mean, we've already had enough dragging going on.
But it's been mutual dragging.
Well, I think just the
19 years ago? I think it was 17 years ago.
I thought it was 07, yeah.
It was 07, yeah.
There's just been so much dragging on blowouts and undeserving, and this would just add another layer to that cake of undeserving. So I hope they play well, but I don't think they will.
I'm still picking the Bronx to spring the upset, mainly because other than Banfield, we can't establish anybody that's actually attending this game. I understand the reasons, playing the percentages, but going gut. And I'll be curious. The thing I'm most curious about is how much they try and keep it in a phone booth versus, channeling the Peterson trickery that he ran against Oklahoma 19 years ago. No, I'm just
I mean, there is. I mean, out of the you run 10,000 simulations, they're going to win a decent amount of them. You just got to pick that one.
Yeah, I will go.
Weird. Like, they get so many sacks, but they have no pass rush. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah,
like, it's just
that means they're bringing the blitz a ton.
Yeah, but like, just
I don't know. I guess it's also how much do you take out of that UNLV performance, and how much was the cold weather? Looked pretty bitter there.
If you're looking for a pro Boise argument, they have gotten healthy on the O line down the stretch, and that's been a big deal for them, going back to early in the year when they were cooking against Oregon. I mean, you're kind of grasping here, but yeah. It's gonna be tough for Boise State.
24-20, I got or 24-21, I got the Bronx.
All right.
Okay. I will definitely I'm gonna miss the first half of this. I'll be at dinner with Rants. I don't know could I put on my phone? Yes. I think I'll probably just wait till the second half till we get out to a post-dinner drink. But
where are you guys going to eat?
No, some Greek place in Reading.
Ooh, that'd be good.
Yeah, should be good.
All right. Shall we take it to the Peach Bowl? Another double-digit favorite here as the lower seed. 12.5 points right now. We're picking it up.
Yeah, this thing's been bouncing.
Scatterboo he's been out here yapping, I think. They're very confident.
Levitt said some things about proving himself to be the better quarterback. I mean, I guess he's been stewing. These bye teams have been chopping for a month now. I guess
I like more, as I just mentioned it with the Boise State. I like more the silent assassin
absolutely
in these situations. But
sounds like they're trying to hype themselves up. They're trying to make themselves believe they can win,
which should not be required for a college football playoff quarterfinal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with Sparky here.
Oh, outright on the field?
There it is.
No, just to cover.
Okay.
I know I alluded to earlier in last pod how I took Texas to win the whole thing, and I did take Clemson to cover last week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take Sparky again. I think just the Texas thing is, I do think they're good, but they just, in some facet of the game, they get in their own way, whether it's something dumb and they don't convert here or there. They just leave points on the board, and I think Arizona State they're hot. I mean, they're playing with enough of an edge. Levitt has been awesome since October. Scadaboo's been awesome. I know that the Tyson injury is huge. I can't believe they were so good in the Big 12 title game without him.
Well, you see that Iowa State defense again.
Yeah, it's true. And I do love this Texas defense, but I don't love – look at the numbers. You can rush off tackle against these guys. Their ends are and linebackers are not good at tackling. I think Scadaboo has he might have 10 catches this game. They're going to get him the ball. In all
How many air yards traveled? No, I'm just kidding.
Maybe if he has 10 catches, the total air yards might be -6. I think they do enough just to – I don't want to say muck it up because I think both teams score. But it's not a track meet. I'll say 30 to – no, 30 – I'll give Bird a field goal. 31-23, 31-20, somewhere in there.
I've got Texas pretty big here, probably 42, 41-17, something like that. I think this is the game that gives AY renewed confidence about his prediction.
I will also go with Texas here. I think I'll talent them eventually, and 2 touchdowns is not enough of a buffer. So.
But I'll go 41-17 if the Minister of Culture is not there.
Well, I am setting myself up for next pod to say this is where Texas puts it all together. So I've been just slowly building that bridge, and we'll complete it next week against the winner of the Rose Bowl, Oregon, Ohio State. Ducks catching 2.5 in Pasadena. 8 seed, favorite over the 1 seed.
Yep. Is that going to become an angle in future playoffs?
This
is an easy one for me. You guys know where I stand.
Oh, this is I honestly this is back to the first Ohio State Oregon game. This might be the hardest game for me all year. I have no clue.
Yeah.
I really liked what I saw from Oregon all year this year. I think they played a great game against Ohio State. I think they're a really good team. I think Ohio State fans really wish they would have played this game last week, right? Because I feel like after the dominating performance against Tennessee, Ohio State may come out and start sniffing themselves again and feel good about what happened. I don't think they need added motivation here against a team like Oregon that has beaten them already this year. I think that'll be enough motivation for them to come out, and I think that they won't have issues here. From what I saw against Penn State's offense, I think this offense, if they come out and throw the ball, they'll be able to get whatever they want against this team. It'll come down to if Ohio State's defense, who they got absolutely torched, Evan Stewart, Tez Johnson, everybody was having their way against them in that first game. If they can get a stop, the defensive line had the best game that they had in probably 4 or 5 years, probably since Chase Young, right? Against Tennessee, and Larry Johnson he proved that he can get out of bed every once in a while. I think that they'll be able to get it done here. I will take the points here. I'll HP it. I say Ohio State will win here on a failed 2-point conversion, 24-22.
I love that.
maybe a little more points actually. So I'll go 28-26 here. Failed 2-point conversion.
Only 55.5 on this total. Interesting. Seems low, but maybe you're onto something with the 24-22 in that case.
Yep.
I'm going Ohio State.
Yep, but with the HP for me, you're taking the cover though.
Oh yeah, they'll beat them by 10. I think this time at least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've gone back and forth, looked into anything I could to sway me. I can't. So when in doubt, take the points. Give me Oregon.
All right.
Fat Clad insulted me on that Russillo pod. When he snuck in a comparison of Gabriel to Penix, I was ready to slam I was ready to spike my phone on the ground.
Yeah, Ken, I told Dan I was watching the Priscilla had Clat on,
Mm.
and we were expecting some fireworks. Dinner got a little bit of got one moment, but nothing crazy.
Yeah.
You think especially with Kirk getting more hard line, and then now Clatt getting more hard line, is really becoming the Fox News, CNN, and MSNBC.
It could be.
Each of their parties
Could be channeling that energy. Yeah.
Each of their parties, the SEC versus the Big Ten and Big 12, and everybody picking their sides here.
Yeah. In fact, the other thing that wasn't insulting to me, but he said something about, I've been getting killed for being anti-Genty all year. It's like, oh, yeah, I'm sure it had nothing to do with Travis Hunter from Colorado being in the Heisman. Nothing at all. Like, do these people think it insults my intelligence when he's like, oh, yeah, I don't know why people think I hate Genty. Probably because you talked him down, I'm sure, in the run-up to Travis Hunter winning the Heisman.
Yep. All right. And now the big one.
The biggest one, I would say.
I don't know if we'll be able to stay up for this game.
I think this is big. I think this is bigger than the last one we just talked about.
Yeah.
Even though everybody's christening that the de facto national, not the de facto national championship, not that drastic.
The hardest game of the playoffs. The hardest game to pick up.
They're saying that they think the winner obviously will be the likeliest to win the national championship, which I don't know, especially if Texas wins. I don't know about that. But
Yeah, that's a bunch of rat poison.
yeah,
I like it.
I'll say.
Yeah, New Year's Day that's gonna be one long day.
Yep. Be ready for it.
The All-State Sugar Bowl. Georgia, Notre Dame. Georgia down to 1 now. 1-point favorite. This line swung, but let's get to the game. So what do we know? We know Georgia on offense. Gunnar Stockton is in. Carson Beck.
No
is out.
Stinkton.
That's I knew this is somehow come back to get me when he was playing that game. He was I should have just refrained that day.
Yeah.
I was waiting for somebody in that chat to hit a reply to that from 6 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. Stockton in, Etienne healthy. Receivers Arian Smith and Lovett, and tight ends Delp, and what are they going to do in offense? They're going to try and run the ball. What's Notre Dame going to do? They're going to stack the box and play man. They're going to blitz a lot. That's what they do. It's just going to be two teams mashing their heads into each other until one gives. As when Georgia's on offense and Notre Dame's on defense, I'm going to hope to contain the run. Be wary of a Stockton. I almost said it. Be wary of a Stockton scramble.
I was surprised you did that. You called him Stinkton whenever you knew you would play him if you won. That was what surprised me.
Oh, I wasn't looking ahead, so I could say it then. But now that
want to know mentality.
Yeah.
Want to know mentality.
Yeah, but now that we're here, I need to watch what I say. When things break down, he's going to run. He's not afraid to take hits. That's what we've seen.
Yeah, you got murdered.
We've also seen him throw it somewhere completely nowhere near a receiver to a player. And he played 2 quarters, so we know he has that in him more than once. I do think that Al Golden is going to throw him some stuff. He's never seen it before. He hasn't played enough. Golden's going to throw him some things. And as long as Notre Dame can contain the run enough and make Stockton beat them with his arm, that'll be good. On the other side, well, actually, let's not jump to there yet, because contain the run will be tougher without, after we mentioned, Riley Mills being out for the remainder of the season. Notre Dame's D tackle. That's huge. I mean, without Cross in the USC game, they had no pass rush, and Maeva had a great game. And without Mills now, they're going to have even less of a pass rush.
Dude, how many blows have you guys taken this year?
I mean,
it's amazing that you guys still have the.
You had I feel like you had 8 against Purdue.
The Purdue, it was so defensively. Yeah, this is the bridge might have just broke because defensively, we know Morrison out, but Leonard Moore has been incredible. So that has been masked. But the other three, Mills, the best D tackle, captain, top probably 5 important player on the team, and the 2 best edge rushers, Botello and Traore, are down. So they have no real pass rush on the ends. Oben's been disappointing from Duke. Bryce Young, true freshman, he's been good, but just not there yet.
Not the Bryce Young.
Not that one. No, they've been rolling.
He's been good too.
Josh Burnham, Gabe Rubio's going to step up. Heinrich has been playing. They're just going to rotate bodies in and in and in, trying to stay fresh. And Kaiser and Bowen are going to blitz. And then offensively, the center Craig, Jagasaw, starting left tackle's out, but he's back practicing. Might sneak in a guard a little bit. But defensively is where the injuries really, really hit. So yeah, that could be the final straw there on defense. We will see. And when Notre Dame has the ball, look, I wrote some things here down because it's pretty simple. Georgia prefers zone. They run it 72% of the time. Riley Leonard much better versus man. Okay, so that's an advantage there because when Leonard likes to run, it's a lot easier to run against man than in his zone. Georgia blitzes a lot, the 7th most. I don't think they're going to blitz as much this time, though, because Leonard is 4th in – he's the 4th best quarterback against the blitz, but he's not good when he's under pressure. So if Georgia can get home with, their pass rush, huge advantage. And I think they're going to try that first to see how that works. When Leonard's back there kept clean, he's really good, but under pressure, he's not. So it's a weird – it doesn't really add up there. You want to get him in duress, but you don't want to blitz him. You want to keep him clean, but it's – I think they're going to want to make Leonard beat them with his arm. And they play zone, which is good for them. So they're going to say, you know what, we play zone. We don't need to blitz. We'll stack the box and see what you can do. I think that's a good plan for them. And now Notre Dame's going to run the ball. Where are they going to run it? They loved running, obviously, inside zone. Dogs are amazing against inside zone with Micah Williams up front. They're vulnerable outside the tackles. Notre Dame doesn't really run outside the tackles. So it's going to be a nice little cat and mouse there filling out period to see who gives, or if you go best on best, what's going to happen. Notre Dame offensive line, good. Incredible run blocking. Not good at pass blocking. So something's definitely going to give. This just screams absolute rock fight.
Oh, yeah.
Stockton, Leonard, who's going to make a play? Or maybe more importantly, who's going to make a mistake or two? X factors here on special teams. Georgia's all-world punter is out. Notre Dame kicking game was almost back until that late blocked field goal.
I was just saying, that's the one thing about some of the, especially your game too, Ken. I mean, at least these games now should have somewhat decent kicking performances. The punting and kicking in those cold weather games is abominable.
It's dreadful.
Oh, yeah. It's kicking a rock.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, it's science. But
it's kicking a rock. It's literally.
It's not fun watching exchanging 28-yard punts. Isn't?
Oh yeah.
So how's this game going to go after all that? Georgia's going to run the ball and run it and try and just wear down Notre Dame's soft in front. Notre Dame's going to combat that with a ton of guys in the box and force Stockton to create plays and take care of the ball. When Notre Dame has the ball, they're going to try and run it. Indiana stopped them plenty of times. They did the top rush D. I think Georgia's still probably better. Numbers-wise, they're not, but you think they are.
Yeah, outside of Jeremiah Young's 98-yard touchdown, what did he really do?
He didn't do much, yeah. I think it's going to be the same thing. I think they're going to keep trying to just pound the ball, and it comes down to how many times can Love or Price break one, because they're going to break one. They've done it, I think, every game this year, at least one. You just hope that maybe it's two this time, or they can be a little more consistent, or maybe this is the Leonard game where Leonard controls things and keeps them on edge. I don't know. It's gonna be a rock fight. It's gonna be just punches in the face, both sides, and I think who makes more mistakes, and if they get to the red zone, who cashes it in?
Yeah, that's the bigger question. Who
Uh,
can
you see-
get touchdowns and not field goals?
You see the talking
Can
points
Irish
of-
still even make the field goals?
Oh, that's
yeah.
true. That's true.
Luckily, Freeman has been mad aggressive on 4th downs.
Yeah, the celebration from your kicker after hitting that one last week. I was dying.
Everybody, I thought they were going to storm the field.
He's so pumped up.
I heard the audio. He
Peter.
kept yelling. He yelled, "I'm back!"
Oh,
Fantastic.
that is hilarious.
I'm back.
I'm back.
I just
I'm back.
finishing up. If they say the lazy thing is, well, Georgia Tech had the blueprint and Notre Dame can do what Georgia Tech did. Yeah, they can, but Georgia just saw it. So how does that work? I don't know. And watch for, I guess, both teams, because Georgia did it in the Texas game. Watch for some trickery. Notre Dame's done trickery all year, and I think they're going to block a punt this game. They blocked how many punts this year? Over the last few years, how many punts? And now with the first-time punter for Georgia, maybe a bobbled catch. I think Notre Dame blocks a punt, which obviously would be gigantic in a game like this. Field position will be at utmost premium. Who wins the game? If I wasn't already on record saying Georgia last week, I actually feel good about this game. But I can't go back on it. If it was 1.5, I was going to take Georgia by 1.
You gotta do.
But I can't. I'll put this out there. For the pod purposes, I'm going to stick to my word and say Georgia wins by 3. But personally, in text threads with people who reach out needing my voice of reasoning and calmness, as they do on game days, I tell them, relax, we're fine. I feel good. I will say that on Wednesday. I do think Notre Dame sneaks this out.
So
All right.
on the record,
On the record, I'm going Georgia
Georgia, for
Because-
record purposes.
because I said it last week, and I wish I could rewind that. But
I would give you a mulligan on that, though, if you felt strongly about the performance against Indiana. But you had them winning by 10, which leads me to believe you weren't that surprised by what unfolded.
I think I did 31-20, yeah.
Or 11, yeah, 11. Sorry.
Yeah, but still, yeah. I didn't think it'd be 27-3 at one point.
Yeah.
I
taking
think
Notre Dame here for you, AY, and for us as we have boots on the ground.
you can put down. Yeah, you're the scribe. You can put down whatever you feel is fair here.
Well, for record purposes, you are. I'm saying I'm putting down ND for myself for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you? Well, is that how you? I mean,
Yeah, I do think so. I mean, Georgia, transitive properties obviously don't matter here, but we've seen them throughout this season look very, very vulnerable, obviously. They've got the 2 nice wins against Texas, but, they beat Tennessee as well, obviously. But they've looked very, very human, and obviously Notre Dame's schedule isn't as daunting and not as impressive. But I think that they've acquitted themselves well enough, and I think that they've got enough talent here to muck it up, and they've got their starting quarterback in there. I think Stinkton will make a mistake here.
I do. I didn't mention that. I do think if Georgia had Beck, we could try and factor in the Ohio State type. They finally put together game. But I think without Beck, I don't think that's in their hopper.
I do think that you will see the rest of the team elevate to try to, rise up around Stinkton, and I think you'll see it'll be a real slobber knocker. I'm excited to see some melons getting busted out there. That it's terrible to say, but
That's gonna be freaking.
There's going to be
physical.
some CTE hits out there.
It's gonna be a physical game.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm excited. Hopefully, I'm sitting fat and sassy after a day of good football and then, more importantly, a night of it tomorrow night.
I've been sitting on this line for the last 10 minutes. The only thing Al Golden is throwing at Stinkton is some Just for Men hair dye of his. So I think George is going to win by 10, 27-17.
Okay. Dan, not seeing.
I didn't nothing. I will say nothing. I was surprised. The only thing that surprised me, I guess, was Notre Dame comfortably winning that the way they did. Because I think I went 2-2, but what was the other one that I lost?
You took Vols as well.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, I guess that did surprise me a little bit. The
way
certainly
they got absolutely demolished.
Yeah. Yeah, I had no faith in Smoo or Klemp winning.
I agree.
So
shall we lock them up?
Yeah, what are we doing? 2 again? I guess.
If
We
you
did
want to
2
do
the last
2.
time. Or is there only enough to do 1?
Yeah, we can just pick one.
Okay, yeah, I'll go last.
I told you I've already got the bet in. I'm taking Bama minus 14 here.
All right. I forgot I left Bowling Green to AY. That was not a rat trap. I thought I'd
No,
lock it up.
I felt good about it.
Yeah, I was, and they did kick their ass from what I saw, but they did stupid shit from what I saw.
Oh, I see a clerical error here.
Whoa, which one?
I took Penn State.
We got it.
What do you mean?
Oh, you put Boise for AY instead of me.
Oh, my fault.
I thought you meant in the first round.
Yeah, my fault.
So I was like,
Good catch.
I was like, should I lock up Boise? I was like, wait, I didn't pick Boise. Kansas, Alabama, North. Oh, gee, there's some gross. These games are gross.
Yep.
Take PSU again.
It's either Penn State or Georgia.
I'm good. Well, all right. If it's between those two, I'm going Baylor for mine.
All right.
Aranda getting some revenge on the. Was he ever the coach in waiting there?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
No, I'll just stick with it. I'll go Penn State.
All right.
There's that stat flown out there. Franklin, between 7 and 17?
Oh yeah, I've seen that out there. Yeah,
He's like 40-2. Not that bad, but he's at least what, like 18-2, I think.
Something like it's like it's not against the spread. He's straight up when he's a 7 to 14 point favorite, and I think the one loss is like that in the Illinois game or something like that.
Yeah. I'll just go Penn State. Yeah. I don't want to mess with Mike. There's enough voodoo down in New Orleans already.
A lot of it. Boots on the ground, AY. We'll be in Miami in 10 days.
Sure hope so. Sure will
You
be
want to
nice.
sit with us or you want to sit by yourself?
Oh, it's going to be tough because you guys are going to be a day early.
Yeah, but
Okay, let's just go through this quick scenario. Assuming you guys win and you don't buy tickets until the 2nd.
I think we are going to wait because expecting prices to go down a little bit.
Assuming we are in the game together, then yeah, I'll sit with you guys.
Okay.
Unless you don't want me to.
No, I might have a treat for you. I'm working through some things. We'll see if Mike Brown.
A Sun Bowl.
We'll see if Mike Brown can come through with something for us.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess before we sign off here, I'm assuming Dan, you want to see Penn State Notre Dame in the semis?
I'm in a win-win position with this. I think
you get to see Penn State crash and burn, or
well, no, I'm saying I think if what I think is going to happen is correct, then I'm correct. But if you guys, it will be, I mean, potentially other than the fact that the Holy Try-and Chief Trophy was on the line for Pitt in 2018, the biggest game in the history of the podcast, without a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, if you're associated with people from Penn State, Notre Dame, like much of the Northeast and Pennsylvania is,
Yes.
that would be incredible to.
And for the record, I don't think it would be a crash and burn either if Penn State lost. I mean, if they lost like 40-7, but
it would just be that week leading up to it as a neutral would be so much fun to just watch the world burn.
in Pennsylvania.
And then after that, the world just would burn again for years. I want it.
I want it.
I mean, why not? Who doesn't? Who wouldn't want it? Just embrace it.
I haven't known.
point.
I haven't known AY. I didn't know AY the last time Penn State played Notre Dame. So
That was I remember. Yeah, I was in high school and we watched the first game together at Kinney's, the one Notre Dame won our senior year.
yeah,
That was
an exchange of shit houses.
that just sucks. It was because it was two blowouts.
yep.
Yeah.
All right, take us home, AY.
Okay, everyone enjoy your New Year's. For me, AY, for the Beautiful State Capital, everybody say the Commonwealth, Pennsylvania, to my west, Deberg,
Good night, all.
and to my east, Can.
Stay warm in this nice warm weather. Last remnants of summer out there. 58 degrees today.
It was a little warm. We will be back in a week or so, hopefully previewing.
Maybe live on location.
Could be on location.
Do hits on location. We might just have an hour preview of the Orange Bowl.
Yeah, we can write it off with all the
If not, it'll be
a big year.
If not, we'll just let Can go and say I won't deep dive too much, and I'll just sit here.
Deep dive into the ocean.
Or it could be a sad pod. We could both be out. Who knows?
Yeah. I don't think Can's allow that thought to enter his head. The sounds of it.
I've got the plane tickets booked already.
Exactly.
Must be nice.
Which
they were like
I already shared my thoughts on that. I already shared my thoughts on that.
Yeah.
Well,
after they win, I'm going to check and see what it is.
Okay. Yeah.
We will know in 50 hours if we get what we want or not.
Yeah.
There it is.
There it is.
Until next time, have a good New Year.
Happy New Year.
And we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next year.